Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Accelerated Pharmacy Technology program here at Scottsdale Community College. We're excited to have you here today. Hopefully you're listening to this recording because you have some questions and want to learn a little bit more about this exciting new program. My name is Angelica Bacalucas. I'm the Allied Health Program Director here at SCC, and I also have with me today Kendall Bateman, and she is going to be the program instructor, and she also has quite a bit of knowledge about pharmacy tech as she's a supervisor over at Honor Health. So she'll be able to share quite a lot of information about the pharmacy technician world. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Kendall so she can provide the program overview, and we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you, Angelica. I appreciate that. As Angelica said, my name is Kendall Bateman. I'm a pharmacy technician. I have been since early 2009, 2010, so I've been in the field for a little bit now. I have been working for Honor Health for the last 8 years, and about 3 years ago, we approached SCC to talk about bringing in an alternative to the other programs that are out there for pharmacy technician licensure here in the state of Arizona. So we've been able to build that partnership over the last few years. And it's something that I'm really excited that we're able to provide for the community here. Couple things about this program. It is Higher Learning Commission approved, which means it does have that seal of approval in there. If it was a little bit longer program, you would be able to apply for financial aid. However, I do want to stress that this program is presently not eligible for financial aid. It does not mean there aren't options out there to help you pay for the cost of the program, but it just means that there's no FAFSA or anything like that that would be available to you for the cost of this program. There are alternatives such as scholarships that you can apply through SCC, or you can find them on your own. If you are currently employed in a pharmacy or pharmaceutical industry, you should talk to your employers about possible benefits to help you pay for the program, as well as the self-pay option. So there are a couple options that are there for you. This program meets all of the standards for the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, or ASHP, as you'll hear me refer to them, which is recognized as the national standard of excellence for pharmacy practice in this country. So they went and gathered all of the resources that they could and said, this is what our pharmacy technicians should be able to do and function and competently be able to complete at the end of a program. And so they've kind of set that standard, and we've met that standard through the building of this program with our partnership with, with our collaboration with NHA and PTCB. So this program is recognized by the Pharmacy Technician Certification Board, or PTCB, and it is also recognized by National Healthcare Association's exam for the certification of pharmacy technicians, so the EXCPT. So both programs recognize what we've been able to build here. As far as licensing is concerned, as long as you fully complete the program with us, you will be eligible to sit for either the PTCB or the EXCPT through either organizations, which is the requirement in order for you to get your pharmacy technician license here in the state of Arizona. So once you successfully pass your certification exam, then you'll be able to apply to the Arizona Board of Pharmacy to have your in-state license. A couple things that are required in order to sit for your exam is 400 hours of classroom instruction, and that is inclusive of your externship hours, which is 200 hours that we have allocated from the program for you to have hands-on experience in the field, learning the tricks of the trade. So we're really excited about that. It's one of the higher hour externships that are available for students, and we feel like this is really valuable for you guys to kind of get that practical experience before you go to take your exams. So this program is completed over one semester. It is an accelerated program. So for 9 credits, you'll have 7 credits of instruction. So you'll be meeting with us once a week, and then you'll be having your externship about halfway through the semester for 2 credits for a total of your 9. This is a cohort program, which means everybody starts at the same time. So we don't do that rolling enrollment that you hear from other programs. So we do start times in the fall and the spring. The last thing is, this is a hybrid program. This is designed for individuals who couldn't necessarily commit to a full-time classroom schedule. So The bulk of your coursework is completed online at home on your time on a weekly timeline. And then we have in-person classes once a week, which are heavily focused on experiential learning. So giving you kind of those foundational skills to get you ready to go out to your externship to apply all of the skills that you've learned in class in the real world setting. So again, here's just kind of a quick representation of what I just talked about. So we have two different courses, PHT 225, which is the Accelerated Pharmacy Technician Training Program for 7 credits. And then you also have the PHT 253, which is the Pharmacy Technician Externship for 2 credits, totaling 9 credits for the semester. So just a quick overview of the programs, the 2 different classes that you're involved in. The Accelerated Pharmacy Technician Training class, this course is designed to give students the necessary foundation to become pharmacy technicians. So you will learn about types of pharmacy practice, legal requirements, laws pertaining to the patient care of patients, customer service skills, rights and responsibilities of the pharmacy technician, as well as rights and responsibility of pharmacists and institutions as well. You'll get an introduction to pharmacy terminology, pharmacology, or how medications are acting in the body, as well as some basic compounding and a lot of math skills that you'll need for pharmacy practice. The second course is PHT 253, Pharmacy Technician Externship. So this course will see the technician student placed at a worksite for a completion of 200 hours for a hands-on experience under the supervision of a preceptor, which is going to be either a licensed pharmacy technician or a licensed pharmacist here in the state of Arizona. In the 6th week of course, you'll be matched with a pharmacy site. It's based a little bit off of student preference as well as the instructor's evaluation of students to that point. The goal is to make sure that we're matching you to a site where we feel you will be the most successful. And so this will be determined by aptitude as well as involvement in the program. So this course is taken concurrently with 225, the class that we talked about just a little bit ago. Again, you'll be starting this one in the 6th week of the semester. So you'll have 10 weeks to complete your externship in total. So PHT 225 will start at the start of every semester for a total of 16 weeks. We are meeting Saturdays from 8:30 to 12:30. That is going to be your hands-on lab time. So you are expected to complete all of the coursework in the week leading up to that lab on Saturday. And then Saturday, we'll spend just a little bit of time kind of reviewing, answering any questions that they might have from the materials. And then we'll dive into hands-on practical experience and giving you that kind of technical skill and teaching you the basics, the foundations as well. And then also once you have fully registered, you'll be enrolled in PHT 253. Those dates will start roughly 6 weeks into the start of the semester. So you'll have a total of 10 weeks of the semester to complete your externship, which gives you approximately 20 hours per week. Again, this was designed to help individuals who might be job training or re-job training, individuals who might have other commitments that preclude them from being able to commit to 40 hours of classroom time, as well as 30 to 40 hours a week of externship time. So we wanted to give you as much time as possible to complete those hours in a manner that is functional for you as the student. So a little bit about the cost of the program. So right now with a 9-credit program, if you are an in-state resident for Maricopa County, your tuition is looking at $973. There is a registration fee of $1,500, and then we do have a course fee for $200. So the entire cost in state for Maricopa County residents is going to be $1,088. Again, if you're out of state, same rules apply, just a little bit different for that out-of-state tuition. So you'd be looking at a total of $3,563 for tuition for this program. Now, there are additional fees that are associated with this. So in addition to that $1,088 or that $3,500, you do have these additional fees that could be or would be assessed once you enroll in the program. Some of them are not optional, some of them are. You'll see there's a range in there just depending on your personal situation. So the first one that I want to hit on is the cost of the book. This is a digital book. There is no paper format. There is no option to purchase a paper format. You will need to purchase that from the bookstore once you've been enrolled in the program. You have 2 choices. You can purchase the lower quality, or not quality, the lower price point package at $577.50. That is just the course materials as well as a little bit of the study guide for taking the NHA EXCPT exam. The other one at the $693.75 includes the cost of taking the exam through NHA, which is the EXCPT. That is the only difference between the two packages, and really it's at your discretion which exam you want to take. Both exams, either through PTCB or through NHA, cost roughly the same amount of money. So they're roughly about $130 per exam. The only difference is NHA is just a little bit newer into the licensing and certification market. So it's not necessarily a primary accepted certification for employers. So when you go out to apply for a job, they do require that you carry your national certification as well as your state license. Some employers here in the state of Arizona still aren't recognizing NHA's program as a certification pathway. So if you are thinking of something that is a little bit more long-term that you're going to be here in the state, and it doesn't really matter if you take NHA or PTCB, then choose whichever one works for you. If you find yourself in a situation where you're just maybe not sure where you're going to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years, or there's maybe an idea of moving in the near future, you might want to consider taking the PTCB, just because, again, not everybody recognizes that NHA certification, so you might not be able to get your licenses easily in another state if you do end up relocating out of the state of Arizona. So just something to keep in mind when you are looking at the costs and price points that's available to you. As we discussed in the other slide, we do have that course fee for $200. You do have to purchase a set of scrubs. So we have them available through SCC's website, or you can purchase them on your own, but you're looking at about $35 for a set of scrubs. You're required to wear them every Saturday for your class, and then you will be required to wear them when you go out to externship. It is a requirement for you there as well. We have a partnership with American Data Bank, or ADB, which is your immunization tracker. So this is what allows your externship site to see that you have all of the required immunizations. There's a $10 registration fee associated with that. And then we also have My Clinical Exchange, or MCE, which allows hospital networks and other networks that use MCE to see all of your documentation is in place, that they can have you on site, which Angelica will discuss a little bit further here in just a few minutes. A couple other things that are in there: you do need to have a medical exam showing that you are cleared to work in the field. So depending on your personal situation, if you have insurance or not, it could be anywhere from a $0 copay to a $50 copay, maybe even more, maybe a little bit less. As well as immunizations. If you are missing immunizations, you may need to get those in place. So again, depending on your insurance, maybe no copay up to $200 could be the cost. There is a required urine drug screen that you will have to pay for and submit to, which is $58. You are required to carry a level 1 fingerprint clearance card for your license, so that is about $80. And then you are required to carry your basic life support, or BLS, which is, again, depending on your situation, anywhere between $0 and $55. And then the last 2 items there, you do have to have a criminal background check, which is a $54 fee, and then your pharmacy technician training license, which is a $60 fee that you pay to the State Board of Pharmacy. So there's a little bit more cost associated with the program than just tuition, but we want to make sure that we're upfront with you guys so you have all the information at hand that you can make the best financial decision for yourself. So if we haven't run you off just yet, and you're still interested in applying, there are a couple things that you'll need to take care of in order to apply for the program. So you will need to apply and be admitted to Scottsdale Community College. And then you'll need to complete all of your enrollment requirements, which is the health and safety requirements. And there will be a designated due date that we will post on the website for you guys each semester. And Angelica is going to talk about those in just a minute. And then once everything has been satisfied, all of those health and safety requirements, then you will be notified that you are able to enroll, and then you can go ahead and pay for your classes.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Kendall. So just real briefly, this is very broad. I'm just going to go over this quickly, but we are partnering with CVS. That's one of our partners, along with Walgreens and Honor Health. But CVS does offer an apprenticeship program. So if you are interested in that, please just email us at theallied.health@scottsdalecc.edu, and then we can arrange with CVS to provide some type of orientation to go over all of what goes into that program. All right, so health and safety compliance, that's the biggest thing that we want you guys to be able to complete so you can enroll in the program and reserve your spot and get going. So we do, as Kendall has mentioned, we use two platforms. One is called American Data Bank, or ADB, and the other one is called My Clinical Exchange. ADB is where you're going to upload all of your immunizations, your background check, your drug screen, everything will go in there. My Clinical Exchange is a way where the hospitals can read and make sure that everything is compliant. So that's their way of being able to get into the data that you upload. So here is the information about American Data Bank and how to create your account. It goes through the 5 steps. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do is go in there and create an account. There's also the customer support. If you have any technical issues, please reach out to ADB first. So the things, this is how it's going to look once you create your account, and you're going to purchase 2 packages once you create your account. First of all, I would like to say when you are creating your account, you're going to select the pharmacy technician program checklist. Okay, you might see nursing, community health worker, make sure you select the pharmacy technician checklist. And then you're going to purchase 2 items. You're going to purchase the background check and the immunization package. Both of those, and that is it, nothing else. Do not purchase the drug screen. That will be a separate email that will be sent out later on during the process. And that's an unannounced email, so please do not purchase the drug screen, just the background check and the immunization package. As you're uploading all of your documents into ADB, please make sure that you are try to include as much information as you can, because oftentimes if there's something missing on a document, ADB will reject it. And they will put in the notes in ADB why it was rejected. So please make sure that you're checking that constantly. So as you upload a document, if there's an issue with it, you are aware, you can go in and fix it. As you can see, when you're looking at the sidebar, everything has green check marks, and that's what you want as soon as you upload something. Before you upload something, it's going to have that red X where it says the American Data Bank drug screening check. So as you can see, that's a red X, so that means that you haven't uploaded it. So when you get into ADB, everything's going to have a red X until you start to upload things. And then once you know you're good, you're going to see that green check mark. So that's good. So like we mentioned, there are several immunizations that you have to get. We'll go over that. Many of them you may have had when you were a child, so you might have already had them and don't need to get them again. It just depends on your records and what you have done. You'll do a tuberculosis testing, you'll do your CPR card, your fingerprint card, your background check, your statement of health clearance form, which is the one that you take to your doctor. There is a healthcare student manual acknowledge check inside that's loaded in ADB. You'll just go through and read through that healthcare manual and acknowledge that you have read it. Photo ID. Photo ID is important because that's the photo that we're going to use when you're going to wear your badge when you go out to your externship site. So you need to make sure that you have a good photo ID, and we'll talk about that. And then appropriate photograph, or vice versa, sorry. And then the appropriate photograph would be the one that I just mentioned, and the photo ID would be like your driver's license or passport, something like that. So immunization, so MMR, if you have mumps, measles, and rubella. If you haven't had this in the past, these are the requirements of it. I'm not going to go over each one. They're going to be in this slide, in the show, and the orientation. And they'll also be in ADB. As you're going in and uploading things, it will show, dose 1, dose 2. So that's another thing I like to point out that I've found with students is they have all of their records on, let's say, one document. So they just upload that one document for that one vaccine, but ADB won't count that. So you have to upload that document to each vaccine if it has all of your records on that. So you can't just upload it once and just think that you'll be good. You have to upload it to each one. Varicella or chickenpox, you have to do that. Hepatitis B, Tdap, that one lasts a little bit longer, 10 years. So if you had it in the last 10 years, be good to go. Flu is seasonal. You can also decline the flu with a declination form, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. COVID-19 is now optional. So just make sure, as I said before, you're being very careful and including as much information on all of these documents as you're uploading as you can. So make sure like the provider's name of where you got the vaccine is on it, the date, your name, things like that. If it's missing some of those items, it'll get rejected. So it'll just save you a little bit more time. And feel free to watch the video as well. That might be helpful. So declinations, if you choose not to get a vaccine for whatever that reason is, there are declination forms that are housed in ADB. That's something that you would fill out and then upload. So there is that option as well. I do like to point out though that if you choose to do a declination on a vaccine, that can decide on where you're going to be placed. Like some of our partners may require more strict regulations that they want to have everything completed, all the vaccines, while others may not. So it might narrow all of the placement options that you are looking at if you choose to decline a vaccine. But again, that is up to you, and those are housed in ADB. So I'm not going to go over in details of the tuberculosis skin test. All this information is in the healthcare manual. So I will say this one can be a little bit more confusing. So I would encourage you to read through it here, read through it in the manual. It just depends on if you've had it before in the last year, about how many times you go and whatnot. You can also get a quantiferin or T-spot blood test for this test. So if you don't want to go through the steps to get this completed and you choose to get a quantiferin or blood test, you can do that route as well. I would encourage you to make sure if you choose to do a quantiferin that you touch base with your provider or your insurance just to see how much that would cost. Sometimes they might be a little bit more expensive. It just really depends on your insurance. And if you are positive for TB, you do have to provide a chest x-ray within the last 12 months. Okay, and you'll have to complete a screening questionnaire as well. So for CPR, you have to get the basic life support certification. So your CPR card should look exactly like this. Please be careful and make sure you're getting this correct CPR BLS certification that we require through the American Heart Association only. I've had students who get a CPR certification, but they get it under a different organization and then it doesn't count. It's not what we were looking for and required. So please make sure as a BLS provider, it cannot expire during this class, this program. So make sure, and that goes with anything. So if you have, let's say you got your Tdap shot 9.5 years ago and it's about to expire like in the middle of class, you're going to have to get your Tdap shot again so that it's not going to expire when you're participating in the program. So, and BLS CPR cards last 2 years, which is nice. So you can get it now and then you'll have it for the next 2 years. And again, if you already have it and it doesn't expire while you're in the class, that's great too. STC also does offer the CPR BLS certification on campus. So if you go to find a class, you can look for HCC 109 and you can register and take it here as well if you choose to, totally up to you. The other thing, and we encourage you to start on this right away, is the level 1 fingerprint clearance card. This one can take the longest, up to 6 weeks. Usually it's a little bit quicker, but we do like to encourage you to start on this one right away so you don't have to worry about it holding you up and reserving your spot in our program. Here's all the directions, the website. You'll go for the non-IVP for health sciences student and the State Board of Pharmacy licensure. So that's what you'll select as you're going through the process. You will have to go down and complete your fingerprints wherever it is that you go and then send off your application. So it really doesn't take that much time to do it. It just takes more time for it to process and for you to receive your card in the mail. And then the photograph, that's what I mentioned that you're going to use for your badge as you're out at your externship. So think of it as like a passport picture. So you want it to be professional, a headshot, shoulders and above, solid background, white, off-white. If you have tattoos or piercings, please make sure that they're either covered or removed. No filters or selfies and no heavy makeup, big fake eyelashes, things like that. So just be careful to follow those requirements. Health, safety, and compliance. So when we're talking about the background check, that's one of the first packages you'll order, and that one is $54. So you're going to want to get that one right away. That one takes about a week to get back, so not too long, but it's good to just order it right away along with your immunization package. Your statement of health clearance, that form is housed in ADB, and you will just print it off and take it to your primary care provider and have them sign off on it saying that you are healthy enough and can participate in the program. The drug screening, that will be purchased as well through ADB, but again, that will be purchased once you receive an email from our Allied Health email, and that one is around $58. So the random drug screening, this, like I said, is random. You will not know when you're going to receive this email. So once you do, you have 48 hours to schedule and go in and complete your drug screen. This doesn't mean you're going to get your results in 48 hours. It just means that you have to have it completed and done within 48 hours of receiving when that email was sent out. So I really encourage students to check their Maricopa EDU email address every single day because that's where it's going to go. And if you miss it for whatever reason and you miss the 48-hour window, you're not going to be able to participate in this semester of what you're looking for the program. You'd have to wait for the next semester and then reapply. So really just be adamant about checking your email every day. You don't want to miss out if you've gotten all of your stuff done in ADB and then you just miss, because you're out of town or whatever. And it will provide you with locations of where you can go to get your drug screening. So if you do happen to be out of town, you can usually find a place that's near you that you can go and take it at that area that's close to you. And all the instructions and everything will be in the email of what you need to do, what you need to bring. So it's very thorough and specific. So just make sure you read through once you do receive that email and then just get that completed within that 48 hours. And we do have a video here as well that you can watch that gives a little bit more information about the process. Deadlines. So the start of the semester starts mid-January. I think it's January 19th, but our deadlines are going to just depend on when we want to make sure we get everything completed before that you guys can enroll in that program. So I would encourage the sooner you can get all of your items done, the better. We are only taking 10 students. So we want to make sure that you reserve your spot as soon as possible. Once you've got all of those health and safety requirements completed, you'll be able to enroll and reserve your spot. I will say you are responsible for your own health and safety compliance. I will be reaching out and making sure, if there's questions or if something's going on, I will look at ADB to see how you're doing as far as your progress, but ultimately that is up to you. So you need to be the one that's responsible to make sure you meet all the deadlines. My Clinical Exchange, that's the other platform that we use, and that's what the hospitals use to read all of your information. ADB and My Clinical Exchange kind of read each other, so they sync together, and that way all of the information that you uploaded into ADB syncs over to My Clinical Exchange, which is really nice for the most part so that you don't have to upload all of that information that you already did. The only difference is there might be some modules that you have to complete or some exams that are required by the hospital that you are placed with. It really just depends on that organization and what they require. My Clinical Exchange is something that you will go over in your first day of class. There will be some designated time for you to do My Clinical Exchange in class on that first day. So we don't require you at this point to go in and create your account. That will be something that you'll do your first day of class. Troubleshooting. If you have any issues and it's technical, please reach out to ADB. If it's not technical and you just have a question, please reach out to Allied Health. But if it's something that's technical, we won't be able to support you on that. So make sure you're following up with the right platform. Also, they have a lot of nice tutorial videos on ADB. So I would encourage you to check those out if you're having issues navigating or kind of learning how to maneuver on that system, because those tutorial videos are actually quite helpful and they really will help as you learn the platform. And like we said, we would start today so that you give yourself enough time to complete everything by the deadline, which will be posted on our website. So like we said, allow yourself enough time. That way, you know, as I said, ADB can be a little bit picky. So make sure as you're uploading all of your vaccines, all of your information, if you notice something gets rejected, that you are able to correct it in the amount of time. Again, start today so that you can meet the deadline and reserve your spot. And again, if you're not compliant by the deadline, then you're not going to be able to enroll in the program. And again, we are only taking 10 students at this time. So it really is a first come, first serve basis. So the quicker you get everything done, the quicker you get into the program. If you have any emails, please email allied.health@scottsdalecc.edu. This will be your main form of communication with us. This is also, like I said, when the drug screen comes out, you'll be coming out from this email as well. So please just save this email, get familiar with it. We try to answer emails within 72 hours. It's usually quicker. It's usually about 24 hours. So I check it regularly, so we are on top of it. And again, like I said, we'll check out ADB and see how you're doing, but it is ultimately your responsibility to make sure that you're uploading and getting everything in time. I do usually send out at least one reminder as the class date approaches to start, just to see where you're at and just to kind of give you a little nudge if we aren't already full. One other thing that's very important is our professional role development. So we have some wonderful partners that we work with, and we want to make sure as we're sending our amazing students out into the work environment that you are really representing us in SCC, because you guys are being the ones that are showing the respect, willing to pay attention to details, read your emails, make sure you're addressing whoever it is that you're partnered with, if they prefer to be called Mrs. or Mr., whatever that might be. Just make sure you're showing the utmost respect, wearing your badge, wearing your scrubs, because we want to continue these partnerships, and that's a really important part of it, is just having that respect and being able to grow in whatever area you get placed with. So this presentation will actually not be emailed to you, but it will be on our site posted. And if you would like it to be emailed to you, you can please email allied.health@scottsdalecc.edu. And I would be more than happy to send it to you too, so you have it that way as well. And I know this was a lot of information coming at you very quickly. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to the allied.health@scottsdalecc.edu. And if you want to meet as well, we're always happy to set up a time too if you have further questions and you would like to meet that way. And then I'd like to include this last slide of resources. So it just has more information about applying for the fingerprint clearance card. It has some forms that you can download this way that are also available in ADB. It also has the Arizona Department of Health Services, where you can go if you're looking to request your shot records and you're not sure where to find them. You can go that route and take a look there and see if they're available through there. You can just download them that way. You can get them right away. You don't have to wait. Healthcare manuals in there. There's student help videos. There's also our link of where you can purchase our SCC pharmacy scrubs if you want to purchase our special scrubs. Again, you don't have to, but there is the link there as well in case you are interested in that. And I think that is the end of our orientation. So I just want to thank you all for watching this video. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but it was a lot of information to share, and we are excited for our program and for you to participate if it's something that you feel like would be a good fit for you. So we wish you all the luck. And again, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to allied.health@scottsdalecc.edu. Okay, thank you so much. Take good care.